it is a fundamental human right to walk around this earth and not be victimized and maltreated by another person.
What is the first word that pops up in your head when you think about sexual assault?
Scary.
Rape.
I don't know, I guess it seems like a toned down version of rape.
I think of safety.
I would think insidious.
Duke culture has this strange slogan that everyone seems to live by that's actually kind of tragic in my mind, which is, that's the Duke difference. And the Duke difference is usually used after explaining a string of horrible events you've been through and how you came out on top. And so I think when you translate that general culture to sexual misconduct on this campus, it leads to people having almost too much pride in trying to live by the Duke difference. And I think that's a big problem.
I'm Sheila Broderick, and I'm the Gender Violence Intervention Coordinator. There are things that I hear about happening at these parties that are just like, nobody would think that that was a good idea. Like being in a space where you don't know where you are, you don't know how to get home, you don't know who you're gonna go home with.
If I actually think analytically about how often I wear as little as possible to cater to guys who I'm going to their venue to drink their alcohol to look good for them, how is this enabling sexual assault? And often it's subconscious, you're not aware of it.
So you are living with a bunch of people who are just like you and who you feel you do not need to have a filter around. The term toxic masculinity should be rife within Greek life, yet no one's talking about it.
Predatorial people cannot thrive unless we provide them camouflage, unless we provide them the cover.
By not speaking up and not talking about it all the time, I guess, I contribute to the silence. And I think that the silence is something, it's probably the biggest culprit, because you wouldn't realize, you wouldn't know.
Because when you're living in the culture, you just drink the Kool-Aid and think that this ridiculous thing makes a lot of sense. Pretty much everything you've ever learned about sex, you need to just unlearn it. One day, my mother, when I was well into my 20s, said to me, Sheila, you have to be careful of boys because once you get to a certain point, they can't stop. I think the messages are still out there about that women are the policers of the behavior. There's a lot of messaging around men are entitled to certain things. There's a lot of messages around people, if they say no to sex or say no to this sexual activity but not this one, that they have to explain themselves. No, they don't.
Little things like the way we talk to each other, just our word choice in general, our behaviors.
What do the gender dynamics of this university mean for when you go out, when you drink? What is the sexual and hookup culture here, and how does that promote or disinhibit people?
The way we think about sex in general. A lot of it's incorrect.
So I would say start with yourself.
Everyone has a role to start talking about it openly.
Paying attention to how you interact on a day-to-day basis with your peers. Start there.
It's as small as sitting at lunch with your friends and bringing it up. It's as small as acknowledging, wow, I saw that person doing something that seemed pretty inappropriate, or wow, that couple was really drunk. Like, is that a good hookup? Is that a good interaction to have? And I think it's normalizing that this problem is so normal, it happens to everybody.
If you don't know anything, educate yourself. Now you have the materials where you can start discussing what you've learned. And I think everyone would be happier and this campus would be a safer one if we just started talking about it.
Surely the conversations will spread, and that'll manifest itself in people really thinking not just about the issue, but how do I contribute to it?
This is a painful transition we're going through right now, but pain is good.